All right, so today we're diving into the story of a king who had it all, and then, well, he lost it all. In, like, the most spectacular way possible. Seriously, this is basically a step-by-step guide on how not to be a medieval king.
Okay, just picture this for a second. You are the king of England. You've got a massive castle, a super shiny crown, and this is the best part, unlimited puddings. Everyone has to bow to you. Life is good, right? Of course it is.
Okay, now imagine this. Fast forward just 2 years. You're locked up in a cold, dark cell. The crown? Gone. The castle? Gone. And worst of all, the puddings are definitely gone. And the guy who put you there? Your own cousin. Yep, this is the true story of King Richard II. So, how did it all go so wrong? Well, we're going to look at the whole story. We'll start with him being a king at just 10 years old. Then we'll get into this wild idea called the divine right of kings that kind of went to his head. After that, we'll see how he was an expert at making powerful enemies, which gave his cousin the perfect opportunity to swoop in. Then we get to the big finish, how the crown was finally lost. And we'll wrap it all up with some fun facts and a quick quiz.
All right, let's kick things off right at the beginning. Richard's dad was this guy, Edward the Black Prince, a total rock star knight, a national hero. So yeah, from the day he was born, Richard had some pretty huge shoes to fill. So when his granddad, King Edward III, died in 1377, Richard became king, and he was 10. Just 10 years old. That's, what, year 6? Can you even imagine being put in charge of a whole country when you can't even remember your PE kit? It is absolutely nuts.
Now, obviously, since he was just a kid, he wasn't really running the country. It was all these powerful nobles and advisors. So his whole childhood was just people telling him what to do. And a lot of historians think that's exactly why, when he finally got older, he just went completely the other way and was like, nope, I'm going to do whatever I want now.
And this leads us to a really big part of Richard's whole personality. He seriously believed his own hype. And there was this one massive event when he was just a teenager that basically showed everyone exactly what kind of king he was about to become.
Okay, so in 1381, you have the Peasants Revolt. Thousands of really angry peasants march on London. It's super scary. But Richard, who's only 14 at this point, bravely rides out to meet them. He promises to fix everything. And they all go home. The revolt is over. And then he immediately breaks every single promise he made. So yeah, it showed he was brave, definitely, but it also showed that he thought his promises didn't really matter. Not a great look. And this all comes back to one big idea, the divine right of kings. And you got to get this, it's super important. It's the belief that the king isn't just some guy in charge. Nope, he was chosen directly by God. And hey, if God picked you, who's going to argue? Not the nobles, not parliament, nobody. Richard's whole attitude was basically just that. God picked me, I'm in charge, end of story. And you can probably guess that this attitude started to annoy a few people. A lot of people, actually. And oh boy, did he annoy people. As he got older, Richard basically gave a masterclass in how to make every powerful person in the country furious with you. It was not a great strategy for staying king, let's just say that. Okay, so the mistakes just kept piling up. First, he totally ignored all the important, powerful nobles. You know, the guys who expected to help run the country. Instead, he gave all the land, money, and top jobs to his mates. Then he started getting revenge on anyone who had ever annoyed him. He even kicked his own cousin, Henry Bolingbroke, out of the country. But this was the big one. His biggest, most jaw-droppingly bad mistake. When Henry's dad died, all of his land and money was supposed to go to Henry. That's the law. But Richard just took it for himself. He literally stole his own cousin's inheritance. I mean, can you believe that? This was just too much, even for the other nobles. So what does Richard do? Right after making an incredibly powerful enemy who he's just robbed blind, he decides to go on what is quite possibly the worst timed trip in the history of the world. Let's just break this down. Step 1, steal everything from your very angry, very powerful cousin. Step 2, leave the whole country completely unguarded. Step 3, pop over to Ireland for a bit of a military trip. It's like he wanted to lose his crown. You honestly couldn't make this stuff up. So Henry, who now has absolutely nothing to lose, sees his big chance. He lands in England in July 1399 and says, "Oh, I'm just here to get my land back."
Spoiler alert, he wanted a little more than that. All the angry nobles immediately joined him, and by the time Richard got back from his trip, pretty much everyone had abandoned him. He was captured in less than a month. It was over. And just like that, we're at the final act. Richard's reign is over, he's brought back to London as a prisoner, and, well, he has no options left. The game is well and truly up. So, in September of 1399, Richard was forced to abdicate. That's the official word for giving up the throne. His cousin, Henry Bolingbroke, became King Henry IV, and just like that, a new royal family, the House of Lancaster, was in charge. But here's the really, really big deal here. The massive takeaway. For the first time in ages, it was proven that an English king could actually be removed from power by his own people if they thought he was a terrible ruler. This changed everything. So why does this story from over 600 years ago still matter today? Well, it basically set the stage for centuries of drama to come. But before we get to the final word on that, let's look at a couple of wonderfully weird facts about Richard. Okay, get this. First up, he apparently invented the handkerchief. Yes, really. Before Richard, people just used their sleeve. So, thanks, Richard. And second, he made a rule that if you even made eye contact with him while he was sitting on the throne, you had to bow immediately. It was basically the world's most high-stakes staring contest. All right, time for a quick quiz to see what you remembered. Question 1. How old was Richard II when he became king? Was it A, 6, B, 10, or C, 16? Take a moment. The answer is B, 10. Yep, just 10 years old. Wild.
Okay, question 2. What is the divine right of kings? Is it A, the right to eat first, B, the belief God chose the king, or C, the king's right to avoid taxes? Have a think. And the correct answer is B. It's that all-important belief that God personally picked the king for the job. And last question, this is the big one. Why is Richard II's removal from the throne so important? Is it A, it proved kings could be deposed, B, it was the first time a king died in battle, or C, it created the first parliament? What do you think? The answer is A. This is the main takeaway from our whole story today. It proved that a king was not untouchable, that if they ruled badly, they could be removed. And that single idea would echo through history for centuries to come, kicking off a huge debate about who really holds the power, the king or the people.